Hello, Pau. This is Adonis Soglakis from Eurohoops. Thank you for doing this interview and for the conversation we're about to have. Now, as you are well aware, of course, the FIBA World Cup is coming, so I need to start with this. As a fan of basketball and a lover of the game, what are the individual team battles that you are most eager to see in the tournament? And this may include some projections or predictions for potential knockout games.
Well, as a fan of the game, I just want to watch good basketball, right? And I like to see in every tournament the teams that stand out and separate from the rest. It's always interesting because now with certain names and certain players have become so big. So they're all of a sudden their teams become favorites, right? But we've seen in some of the last championships where that doesn't translate into victory, so I'm just excited to see first if Spain continues to play at such a high level and continues to be the number one team in the world, which is pretty remarkable and pretty exciting. And then see who's the team who gets hot, who's the team who competes better, who plays better, and who gives themselves a chance, and honestly to be able to beat the American team, right? I mean, ultimately they always come in as the main favorite. We always wonder what type of team are they going to bring, what type of players are they going to bring. Obviously they're all going to be talented players, but will they play collectively at the highest level? So that's kind of always the exciting thing for me. I think having the championship in different parts of Asia and the last part in the Philippines is also an exciting thing for me as a fan, as a lover of the game, and now as an ambassador of the World Cup. So yeah, I'm excited to experience it and to see the game continue to grow.
Back in 2006, you went all the way in the World Cup with the Spanish national team. You had a spectacular performance throughout the whole tournament, and in the end you wore the t-shirt, got that gold medal of the world champion around your neck. You were injured before the final against Greece, so you didn't play, but you had already played great in the tournament in order to put Spain in a position to compete for the gold. What are the most intense memories you carry from winning the gold medal and doing it against the Greek national team that had just beaten the mighty Team USA in the semi-final and maybe, were considered favorites to win the tournament?
Yeah, it was. I remember that championship. It was very, very special. We played very well throughout the championship. We won most of the games comfortably early on, playing at a high level. Then we ran into Argentina, who was such a tough matchup, the Olympic champion at the time, in 2004 in Athens. So it was a very demanding game. I unfortunately got injured. Unfortunately or fortunately, because at the end of the day, I think it could have emotionally affected our team negatively, but instead it just gave us kind of a level of strength and toughness and togetherness and unity that really propelled us in that final game against Greece. And from beginning to the end, it was an amazing display of basketball on both ends of the floor. Greece obviously that came off of winning that semifinal. They were, allegedly favorites, playing at a very, very high level, but the way we came out, it was just great. I've really enjoyed that. One of the games that I enjoyed the most watching on the bench without being able to play, because of how well we played, and I think it was a great show of basketball, and and winning our first World Cup, because we won 2 now, so it's just pretty great. So again, just very proud of what we've done and what we contributed as a national team, as a country, in the growth of the game.
Last year, Spain brought Lorenzo Brown aboard, an American player, for the Eurobasket, and Spain won the Eurobasket. It was a decision that was considered controversial by many. Now Greece may have American guard Thomas Walkup on the lineup for the upcoming World Cup. Of course, it's not certain yet, and it will come down to a coaching decision also. But Walkup may play in the World Cup for Greece. And you know, of course, that there are several other cases of teams with naturalized players. There's an overall feeling that the meaning or essence of what a national team is begins to lose itself with the use of naturalized players, and especially naturalized players who don't have any apparent links to the country they represent. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, the rules are there for a reason. So the rules allow to have this, right? To add a nationalized or naturalized player with no apparent or really roots to the country itself. So it is. I don't know. For some reason, it's there. I would think that there would have to be more of a tie and connection. I don't know if playing a certain amount of years in the country allows you to do that, having resided in the country for a certain amount of time. I don't know exactly what the parameters should be, but I think that would make sense to me. What I do know is, in our case, we have had a few naturalized or non-born Spanish players in our team, but players that maybe grew up. So let's say if you grew up in the system, right, like Mirotic or Ibaka, you know, that makes a little more sense, right? You speak the language, you have grown, you spend a certain amount of time. Right. So with Lorenzo, it was a lot of controversy, as you said, because of that. But at the end of the day, again, if the rules allow it, and that player actually adds a significant value to your team and gives you a better chance to win, it worked out really well for Spain, for our team last championship, the European Championship, and he played really well. I think our culture and identity that we call ourselves a family really embraced him, and I think he felt that, and that allowed him, I think, to elevate his game and contribute in a meaningful way. So it really worked out for us, and ultimately I think what does the fans also obviously love your national team to play well. And if, let's say, Greece and Thomas Walkup played and won the World Cup, I think, they would be happy about that, right? And they would, be happy to call him Greek as well, even though, he's not much of a Greek player. So again, I don't know if the rules will change at some point. That's something that FIBA has to consider. Again, you have a board, you have a team of people that think of these things, and you have to trust that it's there for a reason, because the majority of national teams and countries agree, and they don't oppose to that. So as long as it adds value and those feelings in the country, and those players that come in understand what they represent, it's a responsibility too. If I wasn't from a country and I would play from another country, let's say, to me it's a responsibility of defending that country's name and colors and pride and history. So that also should be into the consideration. But yeah, it's it's a debatable subject, but at the same time, it's there for a reason, and sometimes it works better than others, as we've seen in the past, and we'll see how it goes forward.
This year, I think the discussion, debates, or even TV drama around who should be the NBA MVP were probably bigger than ever before, and maybe they went even too far, because some things were involved that don't exactly have to do with basketball exclusively. It seemed to me that this discussion dominated most of the narrative of this season. As a European who didn't grow up in the USA and has another background and way of seeing things, do you find it any strange or weird, even after your long experience in the NBA, that the MVP debate was so heated?
I think more the discussion. I think why it was different than other years is because Jokic has been the winner of the trophy 2 years in a row. Giannis was 2 years prior to that in a row, and now you got Joel Embiid, who has played at a high level and who's also worthy a candidate, and as now we've seen winner. So it seemed like, can Jokic be 3 years in a row the MVP? You know, they were best record in the West, has played the same or better, or at the same level as the 2 previous years. Giannis has played a best record in the East, has played at an incredible level this season once again. So should Joel Embiid, win the MVP, or should one of the other two who are just as worthy and done just as much or more than they did in previous years that they won the award? And to me, when you have the best record, that should be the difference factor. At the end of the day, the Sixers were third, which is obviously great a position, but it's not first. So usually the teams with the best records have that. But again, there's a bunch of media people that vote, and it's up to them to vote and decide who is the winner. And this year they decided it was Joel, and obviously I'm happy for Joel. I'm happy and proud because these 3 players are international players, and that just speaks so highly and powerfully about the growth of the game and the power and impact of international and dominance of international players. So for me, it's great to see Giannis doing what he's doing and how he carries himself and what it represents for Milwaukee and for Greece and for international basketball. Or how Nikola Jokic just does what he does, so unassuming. He doesn't do it for the individual recognition. He doesn't do it, to get a bigger status. He just loves the game, plays the game at such a high level, and makes such a big difference. And we'll see if this year that comes along with a championship, which would be incredible for Denver and for him and his legacy. But obviously, congratulations to Joel, which is we saw the video when he was communicated, how that was really emotionally impacting for him and rewarding. So I'm happy for him. You just got to be happy, for whoever wins and whoever gets that. At the end of the day, it's important, but it's not the most important. We're in a team sport. I think any of those players would trade the MVP for a championship, and that's the ultimate goal.